Thank you very much for everyone who's attending here today and those who come on Wednesday next week as well. From our ranking of Singapore swimming, it's a great thing to have everyone here. I always recommend you to sit in the front row because I picked on the ones in the back row. Right? And then I hope you listen well because there will be a test. Like in Singapore, we always do tests at the end of anything. So then we'll do a big test. Joseph has some great questions ready for you later on. On a serious note, so to me this is a new start to us coaches as a group. And I would say the coaches are the most important group in our sport. Because if we don't train, if we don't work hard, if we don't make things happen, nothing will happen in our sport or any other sport. Okay? Yes, we need the support from everyone else, but at the end of the day, whatever happens around the coach keeps on soldiering on, the coach keeps on working, and because we have athletes to look after. I always like to think there is a small window of opportunity. That small window of opportunity is for the coaches, but even probably smaller for the swimmers. What does that mean? So there's opportunities that life gives you, but I believe in this. The door is never fully entirely open. Same for us coaches. The door, if you're lucky, the door is a little bit open. You have to push your way in, you have to make it happen, you have to seek knowledge, you have to engage with other people. You have to be the proactive one. You have to be the one who has to make it happen. Why do we have to make it happen for our athletes? Because their window of opportunities is even smaller. We maybe have years after years, decade after decade to improve ourselves. Not that should take too long as well. The athletes have a very, very small window of opportunities. So we have to make sure that professionally and personally we are ready to take this journey. So if I look at a coach's progression curve, maybe a typical one is like someone does a level 1 course or whatever they call it around the world, and then next year they maybe do a professional development course, and then they do another one, and they slowly progress forward. To me that's a very slow way, because what really should happen, there should be some continuous professional development, education of the coach, active, passive, formal, informal, and so on, that we accelerate our knowledge at a faster rate than if we were the same person not to do that. And it's a highly competitive environment. So if you stand still with your knowledge in your sport and other people next to you keep advancing, then you actually go backwards without even noticing. So you have to be very good at this, continuous professional development, so that in the future you're way more advanced potentially than you're the self who just goes once a year to a great coach's workshop or coach's clinic and then ticks that box. I have educated myself. To me, that's not how it goes. To me, that's not what it is about. One of the biggest challenges I feel in our profession, it's about tacit knowledge. It's not explicit knowledge, tacit knowledge. Means if I want to build a chair here like this one, I probably can write in a book about it, what materials I need and so on, and anyone else can then copy it in a quite easy way. But how to coach a 100 freestyler? 100 freestyler, female swimmer versus male swimmer. Someone with 10 years of training each versus someone with 2 years of training each. Someone who just comes back from an injury versus someone who had a great run, and so on. So every 100 freestyler, we have to coach them differently. How do we make these changes and the calls and the how to write a session for that athlete in the moment? And so to me, that's tacit knowledge. So that's the knowledge you need from the normal knowledge with experience that you gain across the years. And how can we accelerate knowledge that way as well? Again, it's the same. One's up from people to people. I do believe in formal structures like these ones, but what I hope what comes of this as well is that you guys engage much more with each other. Okay? And we will try to keep on improving on this, and there's a lot of stuff coming towards different tier groups, which I'll show later on. So if you can increase the frequency of contact events where you go along, make sure you're there, improve the information quality, that's our job, and form continuous learning habits, that is your job. That's one of the biggest ones, that you keep on seeking them out. You keep on going to learn. And grow your own groups, community of practices. Doesn't need to be us to challenge you to do that. There's some great coaches sitting in this room, and the coaches on your level sitting in this room, engage with them as much as you can to move ahead. So I always like to say professional development is an active participation exercise. Don't sit at home and wait for the knock on the door. Ta-da! I got something for you to learn. That's our job as a coach. Go out, and it's great to see the attendance here today. So I don't want to keep on going on about these things. There will be the SSA coaching team more involved in this side as well. So we look at you, the coach, on one side, but on the other side, most of you guys have other club coaches around you, next to you, which you can engage and learn from as well, no matter what experience they have. There will be the coaching peers from other clubs. And I really encourage you to go across the borders and don't listen to past people saying about that's a bad club, you shouldn't talk to these coaches. That's not existing. Engage as much as you can with each other on the line. And there will be the coaching team from our side, and the center is you, the coach. As I said, we're the most important people to make the difference. So there will be a framework, so on different levels that I have created. So there will be the Tier 1 High Performance Coach Worlds and Olympic Games finalists. I'll get back to that one later. Coaches of swimmers to Asian Games finalists or SEA Games medalists. We can have quite a few in there. Then the next level down, coaches who have been successfully coaching at senior and junior snag levels. And then the rest of the coaches and learn to swim teachers. Now, if I go into the numbers, there will be a fifth group, TID group. Now, you will be potentially early on put into one of these groups. Whether this is from the absolute beginning absolutely right or not, we have to kick it off somewhere. With the international coaches from the international schools, we try to integrate them as much as possible. That's not that group here. But there will be plenty of opportunities to come along, because at the end of the day, we're all in the same boat. We care for swimming and for our swimmers. So there will be opportunities, plenty of them coming around. I challenge Singapore swimming coaches to be the first one in this group. Right now there's no one in there, and that's probably why I wanted to create it as well. We got around 7 coaches right now. I don't want the group to be too big if it was too big, because they get a bit more individualized approaches. There will be around 20 plus minus coaches in this group, and then all the other swimming coaches, and another 4 to 8 potentially selected coaches. But there will be normally from the groups 2, maybe even sometimes 3 to advance, and that's a bit more individualized as well, that approach. So the information about this will go out very, very soon. And the tier groups as well, behind the scenes, they created but not signed off yet. And to me, more importantly, is then what do we do with it, and how can we create the next level of coaching for you guys. So coaching team will be mainly Sonia Porter and myself, the technical director and I, but with lots of support from SSI service providers as well. We skip this part. We want to get to Joseph as quick as possible. To me, important will be that it's developmental appropriate education. So depending on what level you work, that you actually receive knowledge and experience at that particular level, or just one level up. It's always nice to go for the next one. And that we have as much as possible practical oriented, and even if you sit in the classroom together, that we still go down that way, versus the theory-based stuff, which still will happen as well. Again, not that important, this part. Before we hand over to this great man here, to me, simplifying coaching goals pretty much is this: to execute more effective skills, at a greater intensity over a longer period of time under more pressure than the opposite. To me, that's really what it comes down to. And I can always adjust that to the next level and to the next level and to the next level until it stands for an Olympic gold medal. And that's a tricky situation and challenge I have right now to introduce this man, because sometimes it's very hard to describe in a few words what someone actually has done and given our sport. And Joseph certainly has been, in my belief, a dreamer and a visionary person. And he made things happen that other people couldn't do before him, that other people couldn't see before him. And then other people followed him in that sort of, like the breaststroke wave technique that he's standing for as one of many things. Very passionate about a stroke as well. It doesn't have to be necessarily, but I'm sure that could transfer in many other things as well. And so I encourage you to listen very carefully to Joseph. So he has been coaching 2 different world record holders, 9 world records throughout his career, individual world records, coached 3 swimmers who gold, silver and bronze medals at world championships level, which is outstanding. And then he has been for an incredible amount of time up there. To me, next to all these things, that's impressive things. That shows to me a passion that this man has for this sport. And even the days I could spend here with him, I don't think it has changed one little bit. So I can even encourage some of the younger coaches to look at someone like him of a little bit more, a few extra years on the top, how he still is so passionate about it on pool deck. And he has been Coach of the Year in Canada. I'm sure had they had it in Hungary, that would have happened a few times, but they probably didn't have these kind of titles in those years. That's my suspicion.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was nominated only in the US.
Yeah, and in the US as well, so there we go. So the swimmers, I remember watching the race, Mike Barrow in 1992, and the world record took for another 10 years. And the even split of pretty much 31, 33, 33, 33 throughout the race. Great technique, great pacing, and incredible fitness to do exceptional things. To me, there are 3 essential things that a coach has to be able to do, and he has done all of that with several swimmers, as you can see there. So no further words, and better listening to his word, Joseph Nagy. Thank you very much.